What is that one fact you know that always makes people respond, and why the fuck do you know that?
The stringy things inside bananas are called phloem bundles. They allow the nutrients of the banana to travel the length of the fruit. They're kinda like the vascular system of the plant.
Alcoholics decompose faster when they die. Source: was a crime scene cleaner.
A lobster's brain is in its throat.
The male fossa has a thorny penis which not only hurts females during mating, but makes it nearly impossible to escape while doing so, even if it's forced.
The human tooth is 36 calories.
That you can disembowel yourself if you lift weights that are too heavy. Happened to my high school gym teacher, said he has never felt anything quite like shitting out your intestines.
If two mind readers read each other's mind, whose mind are they really reading?
It makes a feedback loop, like when you call someone nearby on speakerphone.
We're all the same person in different bodies. Only one mind reader can exist at a time. The universe has recursion prevention built in.
They're getting mind fucked.
This is how black holes are formed. This belongs on Shower Thoughts.
Doctors of Reddit, who has been your worst? But I looked it up on WebMD patient.
Not a doctor, but when I was in middle school the internet led me to believe that it burned when I peed because I, who had not so much as held a girl's hand, had syphilis. Turned out I was just really dehydrated.
The other day I had a guy come into the ed in tears because he had wrist pain, and the nurse at his work's occupational health looked it up and told him he has multiple sclerosis.
What is your ultimate non-sexual pleasure?
Having my hair played with. Holy shit, it is euphoric.
When you can finally breathe normally through your nose after you're sick.
Recently, the feeling of stretching my legs in bed the morning, or 2 or 3, after a workout. They're sore as hell to stand on, but stretching them when I'm laying down is bliss. Sleeping as long as I want. Cleaning way too deep in my ears. I know I'm not supposed to do it, but it feels really nice. Crystal clear headphones with the right amount of bass.
What's a YouTuber that you really like to watch?
Lofty Pursuits. It's a YouTube channel that makes hard candy from scratch. All their videos are very interesting and I really enjoy watching the process.
Alex Steele. He's a young blacksmith that makes cool and amazing things, while at the same time being very educational and trying to inspire people to get out and make something.
Soviet Wumble. PM Seymour. Let's read next. Posaro TV.
Salmonella Academy and Exurb 1A. They're both kind of cynical YouTube channels that are cool if you like history and philosophy and having a good laugh/existential crisis.
Can't recommend Funhouse enough. It's just the right length for golden comedy and some really insightful comments in their podcasts.
Gus Johnson. He's going to get big. The only channel to make me genuinely laugh since Good Neighbor stuff.
What business or store that was killed by the internet do you miss the most?
I honestly miss video stores. It was fun to wander around them and you might end up renting something you never heard of on a whim.
Electronic stores where you get stuff or projects. I wish I could have gone there.
Sales pros in general. A guy selling you a fridge who has sold fridges for 10 years and knows all about them. Now I look for stars and try to discern real versus paid versus spot reviews.
I miss the former quality of Land's End merchandise. Land's End has really gone downhill since having to compete online to the point where most of their merchandise is unrecognizable from its former quality and durability.
What was the hardest piece of news you've had to tell someone?
Tell my dad who had dementia my mother passed away from cancer. I had to tell a doctor that the family decided that it was time to let mom go peacefully. Telling my mom I was at a shrink to get help for depression. Left out the suicidal part on purpose. Also, confirming the news that my dad died when his friend since childhood called.
Women of Reddit who wear very low cut and revealing tops. What is the hardest you've ever seen anyone try to maintain eye contact?
I'm pretty short, so it kinda easy to look down my shirt, but I remember one time I had to lean forward in front of a guy and I could see the panic in his eyes.
I usually wear very high-collared shirts. The one time I wear low-cut, my sister kept staring at my chest, and when I asked her why, she said she never realized how flat I was and how she was probably bigger than me. My husband has given up on trying to keep eye contact unless we're in public, and you can see the internal struggle with the shaking eye goggles.
I can't say I've ever noticed if guys look at me at all, but I have a tendency to get embarrassed and yank my top up when I realize I am showing more than I meant to.
What's your worst accidentally connecting to the Bluetooth speaker story?
Metal music I was listening to late at night suddenly blasting through the quiet house at 2 a.m. My family was not pleased.
My neighbor keeps blasting hip-hop out of my Bluetooth speaker at 2 a.m. Happens once a month for the last year. It's actually why I'm awake right now.
What's an advantage poor people have over rich people?
Knowing that no one is trying to be their friend because they're loaded.
I'm poor and found my more well-to-do friends don't really know how to fix stuff. They tend to just buy a new one.
Deleted. Knowing how to stretch $1 out.
The ability to sleep and function hungry. Edit, of course not exclusive. Can apply to others too.
Survival skills. Poor people know how to get by with less or without, how to make things stretch, how to find help, and are typically good in a crisis.
If you're poor, traveling or going to a nice restaurant are like major highlights of that year or years even. Rich people aren't able to feel that joy from things like that since it's readily available and isn't a huge financial commitment.